Hey guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome. Bet you thought you never thought you'd hear me say that again, right? I pulled somewhat of a Kristen Alfonso. You guys remember Kristen Alfonso from Days of Our Lives, she plays Hope, where Kristen Alfonso, it's like every couple years or so she would threaten to quit Days and then be back the next year or two. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying this new format right here and we're gonna see if it works for me, but it does feel good to be somewhat slightly semi-back. It does, guys. But guys, this is my Young and The Restless, little mini review on Kyle and Summer, a little character analysis on them. I actually really connected with this storyline, guys. I really connected with it. I'm gonna get right into it. So let's look at Kyle Abbott, right? Kyle Abbott is at a point right now where 0 Fs are given. How do we know that 0 Fs are given? Because when you're sitting there in the athletic club, dancing with this woman, you're ordering flowers for her outside of your wife's aunt's restaurant, society, right? You don't care. He does not care. Kyle does not give a damn. And Audra is a H, next letter is a vowel, right? Right? Kyle does not care anymore at this point. He's just taking care of his own business at this point, right? And I have my own little theory as I've been watching this storyline. Now, I haven't seen Tuesday's YNR, today's YNR, Wednesday, so I'm only going off of what I've seen so far. But what I will say is this. Kyle does not stand to lose as much as Summer if they get divorced. What do I mean by that, right? When he walked into that Abbott mansion, he saw her, and she goes, and he goes, and he just went upstairs. He didn't care. And she's like, oh my God. He doesn't stand to lose as much as she does. Let's look at the facts here for a moment, right? Summer lives in the Abbott mansion, owned by Kyle's parents. Summer works at Marchetti, which is owned by Jabot, which is also owned by Kyle's parents. And then there's Harrison. I don't think she legally adopted him yet. So guess what? She has no legal claim to Harrison, her stepson. So if she walks out of that house, she's just walking out with the clothes she came with, unfortunately, right? That's all she's walking out with. If I was Summer, I would figure out where they have vacancies in some different apartments or houses in Genoa City and find what she can get herself into, or maybe move back in with her dad, Nick. What I think is the problem here is that Summer, unfortunately, is going to learn a hard lesson that her whole life is now revolving around Kyle. And granted, this is really Phyllis's fault, if you ask me, because I think Phyllis put Summer in a very impossible situation, and Phyllis has been selfish as hell, because honestly, all this could have been avoided. Like, even Nikki, who Diane, when she faked her death before, was going to let Nikki take her out for her murder, her supposed murder, Nikki's not even going this hard. Nikki's not going to the lengths of faking her death, right? But Phyllis did. Phyllis is doing that. Now, the thing about it is, like I said, Summer's been put in that impossible situation. But she's built her whole life around Kyle. This is why I was thinking when people are in relationships, it's very important that you have things going on outside the relationship. You cultivate a life outside that. You have friends, family, activities, different types of level of fulfillment that don't have nothing to do with your spouse. And yes, is it a sense if you break up? True, but just for your own personal fulfillment. Because I feel like what Summer has done, even though she hasn't said this to Kyle, her actions are showing that she's made this man her end-all, be-all. And that is one of the worst things you can do in this life, because a lot of times we communicate with people through nonverbals, as more so than our verbal, right? So when someone knows that they're your end-all, be-all, they will start treating you like the socks on their feet, meaning they will step all over you, right? Because they know that they've got this unconditional way with you. Which, personally, if you ask me, my philosophy is this, is that with the exception of God, my mother, my cat, and any future children I have, any love that I have for anybody else is conditional. Well, the love I have for them is not conditional, maybe, but the way I choose to express that love will be conditional. With anybody else who's not part of that top 5 that I just mentioned. Because If you're with someone they know that love is so unconditional, that's when they start acting stupid, disrespectful, being distant, and the next thing you know, you're trying to overcompensate to keep them because they feel they're your end all be all. You never want to have anything like, not even outside of relationships, know they're your end all be all, right? I'll give you guys an example. I was going on interviews for grad school a couple months ago before I got accepted. And one of the schools that interviewed me, they asked me, what would you do if you didn't get into the school? And I said exactly to the professor, I said, this school is not my end all be all. I literally said the exact words, it's not my end all be all. And I said, if I don't get in here, I'll find another school to get into, and if not, then I'll go into an online program, since I know they usually have more flexible admission requirements. And I said, I'll find a way to get in. If this is meant to be for me, then it'll be meant to be. And at first, when I said that, I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I shouldn't have said all that. Maybe that was kind of, I didn't say it in an aggressive tone, but I just said it naturally. This is not my end all be all. And I could have felt the need to overcompensate in that interview, right? Because just some background story, I just got my bachelor's degree. It took me 12 years to get that degree. I was in academic probation probably every other semester in undergrad. It was bad. It was a mess. Let's talk real here. Let's talk real. It was a mess. It was a mess. These schools required a 3.5 GPA, high GRE scores, letter recommendations, all this stuff. Now, I had letter recommendations, I had the personal statement, but I did not have the GRE score, and I did not have the GPA. I didn't have it. I didn't have the 3.5 GPA. In fact, I didn't even have a 3.0. If you want to get even deeper, I didn't even have a 2.5. Now, if you want to be for real, I had a 2.0. And granted, do I think that's the ultimate reflection of me as a student? No. But just my time there, right, in undergrad. Because when I first started, I was a 4.0 student. I got caught up in relationships, all this other stuff. I was here, I was there, and none of those things are here anymore, right? I got caught up in all that. And where are they here? Where are those things now? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found, right? So I got caught up in all that stuff. And I take responsibility too. I wasn't as disciplined as focused. Now, I could have taken that and said, you know what, damn, this is a stain on my character. I really have to go above and beyond. And I said, you know what, I'm going to explain my personal statement. I'm going to do what I can, but I'm not going to try to overcompensate. I was very clear about that. And I think one school, they had about close to 200 applicants. They invited 60. I think they leveled it down to 60. 30 got invited for an interview, and then 15 were selected. I was on that 15, right? I got accepted to 2 out of the 3 schools I applied to. And I had even gone to an admission consultant that was telling me at the time, if I was you, take some class at local college, get your GPA up or whatever, and then reapply next year. And that wasn't bad advice. He was telling me the truth. But I was like, if this is meant for me, this is meant for me. And I've started to have an abundance mindset, not a scarcity one, right? And I don't mean abundance in terms of always of money, but in terms of if this doesn't work out, there's another opportunity that will work out too. And not that gives me also the excuse to start acting stupid, right? But developing an abundance mindset. Because my philosophy is this. What's meant for you is what's meant for you. What's not meant for you is not meant for you. Whatever's in the divine plan, whatever's in God's will just be. So if it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. It doesn't matter how many affirmations you want to say. If you're religious, it doesn't matter how many church services you want to attend. It doesn't matter how many tarot cards you want to pull. If it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. You don't have to force it, right? Now, bringing this back to Summer and Kyle. Summer is in a place where she's going to realize that she's built her whole life around this man. She didn't give any room for herself. And we've all been in a relationship. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that she even had low self-esteem. It's just that when we realize we're too encapsulated with a certain person, place, thing, job, situation, when you are able to be aware enough to realize that, that's when you got to reel yourself in a little bit. Got to reel yourself in. Like Ashley and Nikki, when they realized their obsession with Diane was a little too out of control, they started reeling themselves in a little bit. Phyllis, however, did not do that. Now we see now where she's at. She didn't reel herself in, right? Because when you're in a relationship, you have to cultivate, like I said, you have to cultivate that life outside of that. And now she's gonna learn this. She's gonna learn. And it's okay, it happens to everybody. It's part of the process, And when I talk about abundance mentality, it doesn't mean that, okay, when things don't work out with the person, they were bad or you were bad. It just means maybe at a particular time, maybe you'll reconnect later on. It doesn't mean anything bad or wrong, right? And the type of person I am now, I don't guilt or shame myself over anything. I just realize some things are the past, how it was. Like my transcript of school, I could have said, man, I was such a bad student. What did I do wrong? It was just what happened. And honestly, I think it would actually make me better going into my field having those experiences than if I did not. That's just part of life. That's how usually when you go into the next relationship, you get better and better because you learn, you understand. I know sometimes I was a tyrant sometimes in my past relationships. I don't ever tell the story past relationships as if the person was always the person at fault. Sometimes it was me too. Because let me tell you something, you dating somebody, or you get to know somebody, and they tell you all the things their exes did wrong, and they didn't have no acknowledgement for themselves. You know, they don't even at the very least say, well, you know, yeah, I wasn't perfect either. If you don't even get like even a semblance of that, if they're just telling the story, they're the whole hero, and there's not one villainous trait they want to acknowledge, run. Because they were probably the problem. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real here today. I'm keeping it real. But Summer has to acknowledge that she set this tone. She allowed her mom to let her get caught up. And seeing the thing is that she's not used to Phyllis's shenanigans. Daniel, however, is. That's why Daniel's like, yeah, I'm out. Like, you know, it's like a little SpongeBob meme. Yeah, I'm gonna head out. Daniel's like, I don't want no parts of this. Because nothing good is gonna come from this. And nothing is good gonna come from this either. Summer could even get indicted herself. She could even be charged. Her mother put her in a really impossible situation just to get her a vendetta of Diane. And Diane is the new Albert matriarch at this point. She's feeling shook. She's feeling shook, but Kyle does not care. I don't even think he'll even apologize to Summer. I don't. And Summer's been trying to overcompensate and get Kyle's love and trying to see what she can do. If I was Summer, I would take a step back. I'm the type of person, once I apologize to you, I apologize, I try to make amends, and I step back. Sometimes people need that space and that distance. A lot of people sometimes are scared to give that distance because well, what if they realize they don't want me no more? I'm okay with that. Nothing lasts forever. I'm really okay with that. Distance does not scare me. Silence does not scare me, but it does scare some people. But what if the person realizes they don't want me no more? Okay. Do you really want someone who's going to persecute for something your whole entire life, for something you just did for one moment? Okay. You move on, you learn. You move on, you learn, and that's okay. But people are scared to do that. They keep going. How was your day, honey? Are you okay? I baked you some meals. They keep doing all that. And I used to do that too. I used to be an overcompensator. I used to be that way. That's why I don't do it no more. Because I know it doesn't bring you the result you really want. And I have abundance mentality. Hey, if this doesn't work, okay. I'm all right with that. That's not a problem. No. Yep. I could have looked at that grad school situation and said, I'm going to overcompensate. I got a low GPA. I got to low this. I got to low that. I got to overcompensate. And I'm not saying this now because I got in. But in that moment, I was nervous. But I was like, if this doesn't work, that's okay. That's okay. I used to pray all the time. I was like, God, thank you for getting me into graduate school. And if this is your will, God, it will come to pass. I don't have to force it. I don't have to force it. With Summer now, if I was hurt, you need to start figuring your way out, sis. Figure out, make a way for yourself. Men always, not even just men, just in a relationship in general, people are always respect people who have their own. I'm not even talking about money or houses and cars, but when you got your own thing going on outside a person, just your own life, your own existence, your own being outside that person, you're going to get your respect. But when you all up on them, so when we hang out this week, oh, I want to spend time with you. Oh, I miss you. You know, I have some friends like that where when they get in relationships, and we all that one, those friends who get in relationships, they just put their head in the sand. And then when things go south, hey, what's going on? Let's hang out. We all got those kind of friends. And we love them anyways. We have a space shared for them. We love them anyways. You know, those people like, oh, I'm not worried about nobody. It's all about me, my husband, and my kids. And when I hear those kinds of people, I'm like, yeah. Tell me how that works a few years from now. Tell me how that's working for you. Tell me how that's working for you a few years now. And if Audra ends up pregnant, and she has her Abbott baby, which I feel like she's looking for a Newman or Abbott baby. She's looking for a something baby. You know, as another term as an investment here. You know what I'm saying? Because Audra is just a straight H. Next letter is a vowel, you know? A-E-I-O are vowels, right? So she's looking for her next come up. She's a straight opportunist. And Summer, I know this is a hard time for her, but she got to realize that she got to fall back. And if her and Kyle are going to work, it's going to work. She's done all she can do at this point. Now she's got to focus on her own criminal stuff that she could be facing. Because Kyle's taking care of his business. So while he's doing him, you do you, sis. You do you. I feel for her, though. I feel for the both of them. I feel that Kyle is hurt. I feel they're hurt. I feel like he was alive and betrayed by his wife, but she didn't sleep with nobody. Jesus. Jeez. I don't know how that constituted that. And then I feel for Summer because it's like, damn, like she was trying to look out for her mom at the same time. And I think if it wasn't Diane, she would have maybe have tried to tell Kyle. But it was too complicated, unfortunately. And, you know, Phyllis is really soft, but she really messed up her daughter's marriage. See, Phyllis is one of those people where they don't grow up. They're still in high school. They might be 50, but they're still 14 years old. We all know somebody like that in our lives. Don't act like you know. We all know somebody like that in our lives. We all know somebody like that. Yep. Yep. Anyways, guys, this is my Soap Sanctuary Young and The Restless review on Kyle and Summer, guys. It feels good to be back, though, guys. Feels good to do this video. I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to do videos as I can, so no guarantees. I don't make no guarantees. Life is better that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't make no guarantees, and I don't give a damn. I'm on my Victor Newman flow. You know Victor Newman? I really don't give a dime. That's the type of time I'm on, okay? Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you resonate with this content, you found it entertaining. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for scenes from the next Soap Sanctuary. Stay tuned for scenes from the next Soap Sanctuary. This has been Soap Sanctuary.